moon shone bright. Sister Moon ran away with Mr. Night Train last night. Sister Moon ran away with Mr. Night Train last night. Sister Moon, she ran away with Mr. Night Train last night. Anybody get hurt? I think I busted a nail on that one. You hate to hear a cowboy say that. Darn, I busted a nail right there. Tell you what, let's play another song, and then we'll take a break and stretch our legs and maybe get another beverage and chit-chat a little bit. And if y'all want us to, Jim will come back and I'll come back, and we'll play a whole nother set after this one. If y'all don't come back, it's just going to be us in the universe over on the electric internet. So, it's one of my breaks. Yeah, it's about all. I just used all three of my licks right there, and it was an accident. I'm talking a lot about Lukenbach tonight, but I played so much there in those New Year's Eve gigs, and we played one of those on New Year's Eve, and Lukenbach, the company, you know, would let the band bring our trailers or tents or whatever we had. I had a horse trailer with a living quarters in it, so because they didn't really want us driving home, and we didn't want to be driving home with all those drunk people leaving the dance hall either. So we were allowed to stay at Lukenbach after New Year's Eve, and so the next morning I woke up at Lukenbach, and you know, maybe I had one beer too many the night, because people just bring them and they put them on the stage. You don't even have to ask for them. You don't want to disappoint anybody. And I knew I was staying anyway. So I woke up the next morning and I thought, oh, you know, as a musician, I just need one big hit. I need one big hit. My second thought was, I drink too much beer. I play 3-chord country, and I started writing this thing with these numbers that went from 1 to 12. One big hit, too much beer, 3-chord country, and I wrote a verse, and it made me feel a little bit better. And so I was trying to be clever. I thought this song would never see the light of day. It was just writing it for fun, you know. I wrote a second verse that also went from 1 to 12, and then I got to thinking, Jim. I got to thinking, if I can write a third verse and a chorus of some kind, I might have an actual song that I could play someday for the folks in Alamosa, Colorado.
Man, I can't wait to hear it.
So that third... Yeah, you're going to like most of it.
Yeah, I like that
Yeah,
idea.
that's the good news. So I had to write one more verse and a chorus. Now, chorus was easy. One more verse. What's my what's my third verse going to be about? And I got to think, my band and I at that time had been to Europe about, a dozen times. We'd go every year and play in festivals and just play and make money and come home with euros in our pockets. Yeah. The bank always looked at us funny. Can you change it? But so I decided to write about Europe. But I realized if I'm going to write a verse about Europe, I have to have a word that rhymes with Europe. And the best thing I could come up with was syrup. So you wait till you hear the third verse.
Okay.
I think my songwriting career is pretty complete now with the Europe and syrup. I need one big hit. I drink too much beer. I play three-chord country, and I have 4 years. We got 5 musicians in a 6-piece band. At the 7-Eleven, we just ate and ran. Now we're 9 gigs into 10 one-night stand. Got 1,100 springs in a 12-ounce can, and my days are numbered. Yeah, my days are numbered. I stay unencumbered. I don't get much slumber. Everything is numbered. You know my days are numbered, y'all, and I got to keep on moving till I'm gone. I sleep till 1 on Monday. I play Tuesday night. Then a 3-day road trip takes me for a ride. I got a 5 o'clock shadow and a 6-pack buzz, and the 7th one was colder than that 8th one was. We played a 9 o'clock dance in a tin roof hall. At 11 we were rocking. After 12, last call. Oh, my days are numbered. Yeah, my days are numbered. I stay unencumbered. I don't get much slumber. Everything is numbered. Hey, all my days are numbered on. I got to keep on moving till I'm gone. Jim, you better just keep moving. Jim, moving it. I just want 1 fried egg and 2 flapjacks with syrup on a 3-week tour through 4 countries in Europe. Countries in Europe. We know 5 new ways to order 6 beers, please. For the 7th straight day, I have 8 Swiss cheese. Found out 9 means no. For the 10th time, damn, I'm 11 beers closer to a 12-step program. My days are numbered, yeah, my days are numbered. I stay unencumbered. I don't get much slumber. Everything is numbered. Jim, all our days are numbered. We got to keep on moving till we're gone. Let's move it one more time. Oh, our days are numbered. Whew, I got to catch my breath. We better take a break. We'll be back here in about 7 or 8 minutes. It may seem like 12 to you. Yeah, it's all about the number.
Okay.
And on this different song that's on the new album, I played mandolin on the album.
Oh,
And I don't play near as well as you do. I call it the mangolin.
well, sometimes better than others.
It got really quiet again. Jim's gonna play the mandolin on this one.
Is that working? Let me take a look at this thing.
My first two albums I did years ago were cowboy western albums, and then I did a long series of, I don't know, another 10 or so albums, and they weren't all cowboy music, but I always wanted to have at least one western song or cowboy song on each album. And the most recent one, called Gemstone, is no exception. I put a cowboy song on there. It's a song that I learned, you know, I'm a Texas cowboy, but I knew some cowboys from all over the place, and we don't have blizzards very often in South Texas, so I don't have much experience riding in blizzards. But I had a friend who cowboyed up in Montana. His name is Cowboy Doug Davis, and he was a musician and singer too. And he told me this story one time about getting caught in a blizzard up in Montana. He went out to check the cows, and he was off the grid, and he didn't check the weather because he couldn't. And this early blizzard hit him, and all he could do was turn around and try to get back to ranch headquarters or the line shack he was living in or whatever. And it became a whiteout situation where, and he didn't bring a big enough, heavy enough jacket, and he was freezing, and his horse was freezing, and they just plodded on and on. And he said the old timers had always told him, if you get stuck in a blizzard, just, you know, slack your reins, give the horse its head, and let the horse go where, you know, they have the homing instinct, and they'll, best chance you got for getting home. So he did that, and they just plodded and plodded. You can imagine how miserable he was, shivering and thinking he's probably going to die in there. And it seemed like forever for him, and it may have been hours. You know, he was hours away from the place, and he knew his horse was getting tired and starting to stumble, and finally the horse just stopped in this blizzard. And this was after the sun had gone down. They didn't even have any light in the sky. And the horse stopped, and he thought, well, this is it. We're fixing to die right here, you know. He didn't want the horse to fall down on him on his leg or something, so he decided to get off the horse, and he got off the horse, and he took one step forward, and he ran into the barn wall. Whew. And Cowboy Doug swore that was a true story, and I always believed him because in the summer at Lukenbach, Texas, where I got to know him, he would always wear a jacket of some kind. In summer in Texas, it could be 100 degrees, you know, and he just never quite warmed up completely. So he's the inspiration for this song. And also, we had a historic ice storm in central Texas last year. I'd never seen the likes of anything. You know, I'm 63 years old, and I didn't know these things could happen in Texas. But of course, our grid wasn't ready for it, and we were out of power for 2 weeks on my little ranch. And so my wife and I, we just kept the fireplace going in the house because that's the only heat we had. And we came through it okay. We had to chop ice off the water trough, and then we ran out of water because the well wouldn't pump, and then we melted ice and snow to water the horses, and just did whatever we had to do. So on my new album, if you open it up, there's a bunch of pictures inside there. One of the pictures is me sitting in front of the fireplace trying to stay warm, finishing this song because it was my inspiration. The ice storm to finish the blizzard song. The song's called On Up the Trail. On up the trail, there's a big green pasture where the grass is sweet and it grows so tall. On up the trail, beside a little log cabin stands a big red barn with a warm, dry stall. On up the trail, the snow is gonna quit falling, the wind is gonna stop howling, and we can make it all there. But right now it's rough, and this trail is rocky, and the blizzard wind blows through your mane and tail. I know your feet are tired and you're feeling empty, but things will get a little better, Buck, on up the trail. We're gonna find a little better luck on up the trail, on up the trail. Coming tall grass springtime, alfalfa summertime, and a sweet corn fall on up the trail. If we can cross this river, if we can find that mountain pass, Buck, we can have it all on up the trail. We're gonna find us some fillies out running wild. We're gonna bring them on home. But right now it's rough, and this road is rocky, and the blizzard wind blows through your mane and tail. I know your feet are tired and you're feeling empty, but things will get a little better, Buck, on up the trail. We're gonna find a little better luck on up the trail. Mighty fine mandolin. Hey, look up ahead, Buck. I think I see a patch of blue sky. Is that a ray of sunshine gonna bring us on home? Pick up your feet and fly, never more to feel empty. Things will get a little better, Buck, on up the trail. I think we finally found some better luck on up the trail. And on the record, it kind of ends right here, but it starts again. Nice mandolin there, Jim. Hang on to that thing for one more song here. My dad plays fiddle, mandolin, guitar, banjo, and musical saw. And I learned a little bit of mandolin from my dad, but when I play it, I call it a mangolin because I mangle the notes pretty badly. Hey, I think my mic got a little hot. I'm getting a little bit of feedback on it. Maybe we can. But
Might
Yeah, mandolin, that's what I play. But this, Jim plays mandolin. So I told you all I've been writing these Western novels for years. I'm working on book number 20. Been doing this about 30 years. I have a journalism degree, but then I went from journalism to fiction, and then the rest of journalism followed me. They all went to fiction. That's all it is anymore. I'm a trendsetter. It's better than being an Irish setter, I guess. So we're going to do a little waltz here, and I brought up the novels because sometimes the songwriting career and the book writing career will kind of, overlap like a log cabin dovetail. And I might end up writing a song about one of my characters from one of my books, or in one of my books I might use a line from a song or whatever, and it overlaps sometime. This is one of those cases. I wrote a song about a novel about a drifting cowboy musician, and the main female character in the novel, her name is Amelia, and the story I gave her, still getting a little bit of feedback up here. Y'all may not hear it out there, but it's in my monitor, I think. The story I gave, the backstory I gave to Amelia was that she had grown up on the East Coast. This is back in the 1870s or so. She'd grown up in a rich family and had known only, nice things her old life, and but she fell in love with this rancher that was fixing to move out to Colorado in the 1870s and start a new ranch, and she fell in love with her husband Pete, and they moved out there. So this song is her husband Pete singing to Amelia because he appreciates all the nice things that she gave up. He appreciates her for that and loves her for that. She gave up all those nice things from back east to move on to the rugged frontier. This is called Slow Falling Rain. Thunder rumbled in my dreams this morning. It was distant but plain. I tried to hold back the day and the dawning. I tried to dream of some rain. I heard the horses stampede to the stable. They always know. Waking up, I saw you in the breeze at the window with your hair flowing. Keep on believing, Amelia. I understand your pain. You've given up your own dreams for me. You ain't got so much to gain. Just let me hold you whenever life starts to make you insane. Let me love you like a slow falling rain. Like a rain. There's something soothing about the sound of the raindrops playing old window pane. There's something real about the ring of a rooftop singing under the rain. I believe we can get through the summer. I believe in this dream. I believe you're a sight to behold with the lightning in your eyes gleaming. Keep on believing, Amelia. I understand your pain. You've given up your own dreams for me. You ain't got so much to gain. Just let me hold you whenever life starts to make you insane. Let me love you like a slow falling rain. keep on believing, Amelia. I understand your pain. You've given up your own dreams for me. You ain't got so much to gain. Just let me hold you whenever life starts to make you insane. Let me love you like a slow falling rain, like a rain, oh, like the rain. Nice job, Jim.
Whew, that's a good song, man.
That was pretty right there. I'll do the title cut of my last CD before the newest one. And I wrote this with my buddy Damon Rogers, who I've mentioned before, a full working cowboy. That's all he's ever done. It's all his daddy ever did. And Damon was explaining to me one time about how in big wide open country, big pastures, or maybe no pastures at all, just free range, you got cattle scattered out to the ranchers. You never know where you might find those cows in the coulees or up in the woods or wherever. And so they'd send the riders out during roundup time, and they find a place somewhere in the middle where we can bring all the cattle together and work the cattle and rope them and brand them and do everything you got to do to the cows there and all the unpleasant things. And so what they do, they go out and they pick the spot where they're going to bring in the roundup, and they send the riders out in a series of circles, each circle getting wider and bigger than the one inside of it, and they work the whole country that way. So maybe some of the younger, more experienced cowboys do the inside circles, but you finally get to that outside circle where somebody's got to ride the longest, roughest trail all the way around. So they usually pick the best cowboy with the best horse, even though sometimes the horse is kind of a green, broke young horse that's just full of fire, and they know they can make the long ride. So the best cowboys get chosen to ride the outside circle, and some of the younger cowboys see this, and they think, one day I want to ride the outside circle. They aspire to be chosen one year. And that's what this song is about that my friend Damon Rogers and I wrote, called The Outside Circle. When I was a young boy, my age was barely 10, riding my first roundup with the older boys and men. The foreman sent our top hand where lesser men might fail, to ride the outside circle, the longest, roughest trail. I watched that top hand ride out on a skittish colt that day. Once on a distant ridge, saw him turning horns my way. Keeping the herd by evening, his pony soaked with sweat. I made myself a promise that I still remember yet. One day I'd ride the outside circle, I'd make a top hat, riding through the sage so purple, round the Ocotillo stand. And I'd chouse the wildest cattle on the roughest broncos, and I'd ride the outside circle with all the brand. Just turn around on that circle. I held my promise sacred, and I aimed to keep my word. I learned to throw a fast loop from the rankest in the herd. And it was 10 years later when I heard the roundup boss. He said, "You'll ride the outside circle, son. Go catch yourself a horse. And I rode the outside circle. I made a top hat, riding through the sage so purple, round the Ocotillo stand. And I chows the wildest cattle on the roughest broncos, and I'd ride the outside circle for the brown. Take a ride on that circle. Jim Richmond on the outside circle. These days I'm the foreman. Some say I'm getting old. It's true, my hair is silver. You can see my legs are bowed. And I ride the inside circles down. But just ask my cowboy peers. They know I rode that outside circle for well nigh 30 years. Yes, I rode the outside circle. I made a top hat, riding through the sage so purple, round the Ocotillo stand. And I chows the wildest cattle on the roughest broncos, and I rode the outside circle for the brand. And in my dreams I ride the ridges, in my stirrups I still stand, and I ride the outside circle for the brand. Thank you, Jim.
We got the ending.
Yeah, we nailed the ending.
That's all that counts.
Speaking of, we got another Jim in the audience, Jim Jones, and I played a gig in Albuquerque, North Albuquerque, Rio Rancho. And Jim was there to help me out. He's a very well-known singer-songwriter in the cowboy music circles. Y'all know Jim Jones? Yeah, he's right here on the front row. A lot of famous people come here, man.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, I was telling Jim this earlier. I got to my show, and like Shake Russell was in the middle of my audience. I said, "Oh, no pressure there. No pressure, Jim Jones here." He's like watching. He said, "Oop, he hit a bad note. Susan, he hit a bad note."
Oh, Shake's a good guy.
Anyway, Jim's been to Texas, and we played music there, and I got to play some music with him in Mexico. And thanks for driving all the way up, Jim and Susan from Albuquerque to come heckle us.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a lot of time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. I'll play another song off the new CD. Album, or whatever you call them these days. This is a song about my favorite tough guy from the movies. So we got a small crowd here, and you just shout it out. Who's your favorite tough guy from the movies? Bring it on. Who you got? Chuck? Which Chuck? Chuck Norris, yeah. Oh, yeah. Texas Ranger. John Wayne. We got a Chuck Norris. We got a John Wayne. Who else we got? Who? Clint Eastwood. That's cool.
Yeah.
Pee Wee Herman. Who said that? Did you hear that?
Oh.
But no, there's a lot of great tough guys from the Charles Bronson. I mean, there's a bunch of them. And but my personal favorite tough guy, this might surprise you, my favorite tough guy from the movies is that little dog from The Wizard of Oz, Toto. Because think about it, he was like 12 pounds of furry fury, and he wasn't afraid of the Wicked Witch and her spells. And he was not afraid of that lion. He chased that lion right up a tree. He'd jump right on a flying monkey and just take a ride. It's like, so I wrote this. I wanted to write a song about Toto, but I had to do some research. You know, I'm a historical researcher. You know what I'm saying, Jim? So I had to look up some, info about Toto. Some people think he's fictional, but oh no, Toto was a real guy. Oz is real too. I don't really believe all this. I'm just setting up the song, okay? So I found Toto's autobiography that he wrote in 1933, I think it was. He translated it through a Siamese cat who spoke a lot of languages. It's a very rare book, and I found a copy, and I read all about it. And it's in his own words. And Toto tells his own story about the whole Oz experience. This is what Toto said. My name is Toto, I'm a Kansas puppy. I got lost in Oz on my way to Kentucky. I hate flying monkeys, I didn't like the farm. The only place to me that ever held any charm was this little town that's got it all, called Wichita. So put your ruby slippers on and click your heels, let's go to Wichita. Put your ruby slippers on, click your heels, let's go to Wichita. Come on, girl. As soon as we cross that Kansas line, we're gonna leave the yellow brick blues behind. Gone to Wichita, Wichita. Jim, I'm sure you've been through Wichita. Been to Wichita. Now you may wonder why Toto wanted to go to this specific town in Kansas. We all just thought he just wanted to go back to Kansas, but oh no. Had to be Wichita. It was a process of elimination. Here's what he said in chapter 7 of his autobiography. He said, Kansas City just moves too fast. He said, old Dodge City's living in the past. But there is one place I'd like to go. I seen it from the twister way down below. The sweetest sight I ever saw was on the water tower. It said, Wichita. So put your ruby slippers on, click your heels and go to Wichita. Girl, put your ruby slippers on and click your heels. Let's go to Wichita. Soon across that Kansas line, we're gonna leave the yellow brick blues behind. Go to Wichita. Dorothy, let's jump in that hot air balloon and go on home to Wichita. Toto likes it. So you may wonder what Toto thought about his co-stars in the movie. Like, maybe they all got along just fine, you know? I don't know, because in chapter 22, he brings that up, and it's what he said. Tin Man was a bucket of rust. Oh. Scarecrow blew away in a gust. They said the king of the forest was a big bad lion. Last time I saw him back in Oz, he was crying and had a little sticker in his paw. Oh, let's go to Wichita, Dorothy. So put your ruby slippers on and click your heels. We're going to Wichita. Put your ruby slippers on and click your heels. We're we're going to Wichita. Soon across that Kansas line, we're gonna leave the yellow brick blues behind. Down to Wichita, Wichita. Why don't you take us home to Wichita? You've heard that song maybe once today on the CD, probably, or not at all.
I did hear it once, yeah. But I liked it.
I got a few minutes left. More bittersweet cowboy music. This one may be a little more bitter than sweet. How you getting by out on that mountain? So far away from town and friends and family and me. 'Cause I don't have to tell you, I've been counting every day that passes in this chain of misery. Why'd you go and marry you a cowboy when you never even told me what to do? I was never sworn to the easy life I was born to. If you had only asked me to, I would have been a cowboy for you. I wish that you'd told me what you wanted, so I could have taken on the life you had in mind. Now am I broken hearted? Hell, I'm haunted. Did you have to marry the first cowboy you could find? Why'd you go and marry you a cowboy when you never even told me what to do? I'd have made the changes, lived out on the range, if you had only told me true. I would have been a cowboy for you. Hell, I'd have rode the moon over the mountain, branded every shooting star that flew. I'd have rode forever, crossed 1,000 freezing rivers, if you'd have given me one clue. I would have been a cowboy for you. I thought there was some finer point I must have been missing. So I took a job out on a ranch about 6 months ago. Tonight up on your mountain, if you'll listen, You'll hear me singing mournful from the prairies down below, singing, why'd you go and marry you a cowboy when you never even told me what to do? I'd have made the changes, died out on the ranges, but I never even knew. I should have been a cowboy thief. Should have been a cowboy. I could have been a cowboy for you. I could have been a cowboy. You know I would have been a cowboy for you.
All right.
Do we have any Gary P. Nunn fans in here, Jim? It's more. Yeah, okay. By the way, our sound guys and computer guys who are sending us out across the universe, I think, deserve a great round of applause. They were. This room always sounds great because of y'all. Thanks so much. Sound guy's the first guy to show up and the last guy to leave. So this room, I love this room. It sounds great. So Gary P. Nunn, yeah. So years ago, I wrote a song with a couple of my friends, Larry Snake Eye and Mike Seiler. And we all had horses, and we used to go to the National Cowboy Symposium in Lubbock, and we'd go out there and play cowboy music. But at the symposium, they usually had a trail ride across some big ranch, and one year they were having a trail ride on the Cap Rock, which is this geological feature in the Texas Panhandle. It's a big cliff that runs for 200 or 300 miles. And so we wanted to ride on the Cap Rock, up and down the trails on the Cap Rock. So we did that. And on the way out there to do that, we started writing this song. The good old boys are riding brim to brim from the ranch to the rodeo, because we were in the pickup truck with our hats on, riding brim to brim. And we ended up being a song. We actually made a song out of it, and we heard that Gary P. Nunn was recording at a studio in Fredericksburg, where I now live, and we knew the guy in the studio, so we just showed up and threw down I think it was a DAT tape in those days. We weren't even using CDs, but we gave him a version of our demo. And danged if he didn't record it like the next day. He must have been really needing some songs. But Gary P. still plays this song to this day in his live shows. And recently he recut it as a duet with a young up-and-coming Nashville star who's also kind of a rodeo star, whose name is Cody Johnson. Anybody know Cody Johnson?
Oh, yeah.
And so they do a duet and just sing this song kind of where they sing the verses back and forth. And they did a great job on it. So the song has new legs these days. It's called It's About to Get Western, and it goes like this. The good old boys are riding brim to brim from the ranch to the rodeo. Old Tommy draws a wild one, a little bronc called Smokey Joe. Smokey Joe ain't never been rode, but Tommy ain't never been throwed. And as he settles into the buck and shoot, he says, boys, here comes the show. 'Cause it's about to get western round here tonight. You got that right? You better wear your working clothes and pull your hat down tight. Hey, it's about to get western. I don't mean it might. It's about to get western around here tonight. Tommy's spending all the prize money later on, buying drinks at the dance. He's making eyes at the rodeo queen. He figures she's worth the chance. Some big bulldogger by the name of Earl says, Tommy, that's my girl. And as he ducks Earl's knuckles, old Tommy starts to chuckle, says, well, all right, let her whirl. 'Cause it's about to get western round here tonight. You better wear your working clothes and pull your hat down tight. Hey, it's about to get western. I don't mean it might. It's gonna get western when Jim plays that guitar tonight. Come on. Western enough for you? Well, the rodeo queen gets the fight broke up. She drags Big Earl to the pickup truck, and a cute cowgirl grabs Tommy by the hand, pulls him towards the dance floor, hollering at the band. And it's about to get western right here tonight. Alamosa on a Saturday night. You better wear your working clothes and pull your hat down tight. Hey, it's about to get western. I don't mean it might. Bound to get western around here tonight. Gonna get western. I don't mean it might. About to get western. The Cowboys' delight. I got a little bit western.
Yeah, that was fun.
All right, I want to play a dusty little love song for y'all now. It was the late 90s. I was living near Marble Falls, Texas. I had a little ranchito outside of town there where I lived. Late 90s was like the dawn of the age of the internet, as you remember. It was also a very dry summer in Marble Falls, and dust was everywhere. Hadn't rained in months, and people just didn't wash their car anymore. If you washed it that morning, it'd be dusty that evening. And I saw a UPS van. I was walking down Main Street in Marble Falls, and a UPS van, one of the big ones, is as big as this stage, and it was covered with dust. And somebody had taken their finger, as people will do on the side of a vehicle in the dust, and written a message. And it said, www.washme.com. First time I'd ever seen that, anything other than just the old standard Wash Me. And I looked the website up just to make sure I wasn't promoting something weird, but it belongs to a car wash in Minnesota, so it's And I got to thinking about, Jim, about all the things that people write in the dust, or could write in the dust, on other people's vehicles. And I got to think, maybe I should write a song about this. And for once in my songwriting career, I decided to take the high road. And it's a dusty song, but I decided to keep it clean. But why? I like that. But why? And what I did was I wrote a dusty little love song called In the Dust. Hang on, Jim. I put the clamp on the guitar and everything went a little bit out of tune, and I would hate to spend.
They do that.
I would hate to spend 3 minutes playing out of tune. It drives me crazy. Y'all ever see Willis Allen Ramsey play live? Willis is tormented by out-of-tune guitars, and he will do what I'm doing right now for about 15 or 20 minutes on stage, and I'm going to try to hold it to 15 or 20 seconds.
He's a perfectionist.
An absolute perfectionist.
Yes.
There's the culprit right there.
It's always that B string.
I think I can live with that, Jim. There were 18 dirt road miles and more between my place and her front door. When the weather got dry, that dust would cover my beat-up Ford. I remember so well that first sweet night. She said, please stay, and I said, all right. When I woke up in the morning, she was driving away to work. When I looked for a note, I was out of luck till I walked outside to my beat-up truck. And she wrote, I on the left front fender, love you on my door, forever all the way to the tailgate of my beat-up Ford. She made hearts on all three hubcaps. Oh, what a sweet reward. I love you forever, written in the dust of my beat-up Ford. Well, I never did dream some words and dust would make my heart dang near bust. Maybe you can understand now why I never do wash that truck. And a lot has changed ever since those days. We've got 3 kids, that road's been paved. Oh, but only yesterday in blew a windstorm full of dust. So early this morning she woke up, found my note on her brand new truck, and it said, I on the left front fender, love you on my door, forever all the way to the tailgate of her brand new Ford. I made hearts on all 4 hubcaps. Oh, what a sweet reward. I love you forever, written in the dust of her brand new Ford. All right. Jim plays pretty good in the dust, doesn't he?
I'm living in it.
So ever since I wrote this song, I keep looking for things that people ride in the dust on other people's vehicles. A while back, I saw one up on the Oklahoma-Arkansas border. It said, "Darn, now I have to go wash my finger." It was spelled that way too, wash my finger. But the best one I ever saw was not far from here, up in Gunnison. My wife Annie and I were up in Gunnison. We were playing some music. She sings with me. She co-writes songs with me. She got 3 co-writes on the new album. Sings beautifully. Been a few years ago when we were up in Gunnison. We took our kayak with us. We had some friends in Gunnison who moved our pickup truck downstream on the Gunnison River so we could take about a 4-hour float. Our pickup truck would be waiting for us. Had a nice, beautiful float. Beautiful Gunnison River, great day. We got to that parking lot where our truck was parked. Had a little boat ramp there, and we pulled the kayak out. Started tying it on the top of our pickup truck. And Annie looked across the parking lot. She said, "Hey, there's one other truck over there." Yeah, it was the only other truck in the only other vehicle at all in the parking lot. She said it's got dust all over it. And it looks like something's written in the dust on the driver's side door. It was at the other end of the parking lot. We couldn't quite read it from where we were working on the kayak. So we finished tying down our kayak. We grabbed the first cold beer of the day. We walked on over to that other truck to see what it said written in the dust. Well, I say we walked, but we're Texans, so I sauntered over there. And my wife was a ballet star in high school, and so she sashayed. I tried sashaying once, it didn't work out for me. Y'all don't want to see me sashay. So I sauntered over there, and my wife sashayed. We got close enough where we could read what was written in the dust on the door of that little half-ton pickup truck with a Colorado license plate. We got close enough where we could read it, and I swear this is true. My wife cannot tell a lie, and she'll back me up on this. A little dusty truck, we got close enough where we could see what was written on the driver's side door. We could see what it said. And it said, I bet you wish your girlfriend was as dirty as your truck. So early this morning she woke up, found my note on her brand new truck, and it said, I am the left front fender, love you on her door, forever all the way to the tailgate of her brand new Ford. I made hearts on all four hubcaps. Oh, what a sweet reward. I love you forever, written in the dust of a brand new Ford on the left front fender. Love you on her door, forever all the way to the tailgate. She goes all the way on, and made hearts all four hubcaps. Oh, what a sweet reward. I love you forever, written in the dust of her brand new Ford. In the dust, left it in the dust, y'all. Found it in the dust. Ooh, yeah. She wrote, I love you forever, in the dust of my beat up Ford. Well, we're working overtime. I guess that was our last song. What? Did I hear encore? All right then. Woo! That's the way to milk an encore right there.
That's it. That's what you do.
No standing ovation required.
That's
I play a lot of music with my dad, and when my grandfather was in the nursing home, we would go play songs for my grandfather and all his new friends in the nursing home. My dad and I would, and my dad plays fiddle. We play the old fiddle tunes and country songs, and somebody asked us in town. He said, "Hey, we heard you played out at the nursing home. How'd that go?" And my dad said, "Oh, it's pretty good. We got a crouching ovation." So I don't expect any crouching ovations here. But we'll do one more song. We'll do the encore for you. I wrote this song about New Mexico because I lived in New Mexico right out of high school in the Air Force. I was at Kirtland Air Force Base, and in Texas I would fish. You know, we were an outdoorsy family and a ranch family and all that. We would go hunting and fishing, and one of the ways we liked to fish was running a trot line. Y'all ever run a trot line for catfish? We did a lot of that. And then I moved to New Mexico, and I couldn't find enough water in which to run a trot line. So I had to learn a new kind of fishing. I learned to fly fish. When I come on up here on this little Colorado tour, I always bring my fly rod and do a little fly fishing around here. So this is how I learned to fly fish back in New Mexico. I got thinking about it a while back, and I wrote this song called My Same Old New Mexican Dream. It's about fly fishing in New Mexico. Out past the workshops, the billboards and truck stops, west of the West Texas line, the Spanish king once granted, land that was enchanted, where the desert rises up to meet the pines. And it's high enough to stay cool in the summer, and down low enough to gather in the streams. For the wild drought and pepper blows and bean fields, and so goes my same old New Mexican dream. In 77, I stumbled onto heaven, and I found some peace where mountain rivers flow, where a lie is a promise, the cutthroats are honest, the rainbows will rise up from below. You cast your favorite pattern on the river. You mended and you drifted through the sea. You hope for a good time and the strike comes. I'm in my same old New Mexican dream. Hey, it's my same old New Mexican dream. Well, my flame blow through. Yes, it can gleam. See that rainbow hue next in the stream. In my same old New Mexican dream. All right, baby. I think you've been fly fishing. So out past the workshops, billboards and truck stops west of the West Texas line, the Spanish king once granted a land that was enchanted, where the desert rises up to meet the pine. It's high enough to stay cool in the summer, down low enough to gather in the streams for the wild trout in pueblos and bean fields. And so goes my same old New Mexican dream. Here's my same old New Mexican dream. Well, my flame glow through. Yes, it can gleam. Will my aim hold true next in the stream? In my same old New Mexican dream. Well, it's my same old New Mexican dream. Well, my flame glow through. Yeah, yes, it can gleam. See that rainbow hue next in the stream. There she goes. In my same old New Mexican dream. Give it up for Jim,
right.
Brother Jim, playing tonight.
Thank you.
I'm Mike Bleckley. Thank y'all so much. It's always good to see you. We love y'all. Stay as cool as you are right now. And if you ever need a reference as an audience, just call me and Jim, and we'll give you A+. All right, thanks much, y'all. Thanks for coming out tonight.